Disclaimer: the content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical condition they may have, and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions. And now...
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ben and Amy on The Heavy Truth.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome back, everyone.
Yes,
I'm Amy.
welcome back. And I'm Ben. And we're back talking about the heavy truth and what that all entails. Mm-hmm. How was your Valentine's Day?
It was good. It was uneventful.
Okay.
Chose not to go out actual Valentine's Day, so we did it this past weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. It was nice. Otherwise, you beat the crowds.
Mm-hmm. Right, where all the amateurs go out and try to pretend like they're in love, and by the next weekend, they're in love with someone else. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
nice. No, all the but then if you wait, the candy's all on sale the next day. 20%, 40%, 60%.
anything in moderation.
Right. Anything in moderation. Speaking of moderation, I hope my voice sounds better to some of you listeners, not viewers any longer, right? And I want to send a big shout out from the Heavy Truth to a friend of the pod, to Jody, who wanted me to make sure that I was sitting closer to the mic, or DT it, as he said. So thank you, Jody, for listening and letting us know. We at the Heavy Truth appreciate you, and I appreciate that. So, Amy, we've been busy, right? Been really busy. I was recently at a conference in Washington, D.C., up on the Hill, talking to our representatives for some of the quality things that we need to change for us as advanced practice nurses, right? And so, being there in a way, you have to kind of plan on things, eating and all of that. And, you being a busy woman yourself, working mom, how do you go about like meal planning, shopping, cooking? How does that look for you, maintaining a weight loss, or how do you talk to people about what that should look like?
Yeah, so it's a great question. It's a question that comes up often. Actually, it comes up every visit that I have with patients, whether it's an initial visit or, follow-up. But it is essential to meal prep and meal plan. You have to. And patients, people, everyone listening, you don't have to be a chef to eat healthy.
Not at all. And not everything has to be organic and all of that.
No, because there's only some things that are potentially worth being organic, right? I mean, you're not going to do anything with like a banana. Like you're peeling that, you know? But so planning is super important. And even though my kids are older, they're still all home. And as Mike would say, they're still on the payroll and they're here. So, you have to feed them, Yeah. So that's planning and prepping you just have to do it. So do you do that?
Yeah, I think we do. My mother lives with us. So we do plan. And I find that we're most successful with my weight loss maintenance is when I'm planning ahead, right? Because I think I have a tendency, like if I'm not planning, then I can just go hog wild, no pun intended, or pun intended, right? So we do. We plan ahead, grocery shop with a list, things like that. But we do plan ahead, and I'm not promoting any product any way, shape, or form. But I use, my mother and I, and my spouse, we use Factor meals, only because I think it's a really easy thing to do for, busy, working, gym, errands, and all of that.
Just to have it available once you get home.
Have it available once you get home. Right.
Yeah.
But again, you don't have to do things like that, right? It's really important that you kind of just map out the week ahead, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that list when you go grocery shopping is essential, because you can kind of plan like some meats to buy, the vegetables to buy, the fruits are going to buy, some of the dinners, how that's going to look. So that way you have a bit of a variety, but that way you kind of have it planned out. So not every day is like, well, are we going to get pizza tonight? Or are we going to get, burgers tonight? And don't get me wrong, there are days where I have it planned, but I'm like, we should get pizza tonight. Right. But that's not every day or all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And, you have to find out who's going to be home for dinner and, planning accordingly, like you said, making a list. Now, I have become a huge fan of online shopping and just doing a pickup.
Right.
That's great.
And I've heard people say to me, it stops them from going to the store and buying what they say is crap, right? They're not impulse buying the sweets and the snack items and all of that. They already have it preset, so they're not, they don't see it, and then feel the need to buy it. So it's easier that way for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, some tips for that is, we just suggest starting when you're planning out your meals, start your dinner first. Make sure you look to see what you already have at home, because a lot of people have things in their fridge. I mean,
Pantries.
Or pantries. I mean, I know that, my mom always has probably, 6 or 8, pork roasts. They're always in the fridge.
Love a good pork roast.
So, I mean, sometimes you have things in your freezer that maybe you've forgotten you bought. So look that over before you go shopping.
Absolutely.
So you're not spending extra money and maybe ending up with, 6 pork roasts or chuck roasts, whatever.
Well, in your mom's defense, they're on sale, right? I mean,
buy one, get one.
Buy one, get one. I'd like to know where that deal is, but okay. But at the same time, like you said about planning your meals and planning that dinner first, I think it's good to kind of make the meals protein forward, right? I think that's very essential. Hence that pork roast.
That's right.
But protein forward is always key to our body feeling full and staying full and not overeating, I think.
What do you say to people that are like, well, my family's so picky and, all they want to eat is pasta and marinara sauce or, rice with, butter or whatever. And then that's what they eat. That's what they want. So that's what I'm eating as well.
Like I've always thought, I don't think you have to make separate meals. You don't have to make separate meals for yourself because you're watching your weight or trying to lose weight or trying to live a lifestyle and your family has to have something else. Everything can be done in moderation, right? And so I think that's completely fine. The marinara sauce, the pasta sauce, and all of that. But then maybe you add something else to that, right? You cook the chicken breast on the side or you brown some ground beef or pork or chicken on the side. And then you serve yourself that with the buttered noodles and the marinara sauce that your family wants.
Right.
And then you decide, right? I mean, when my family decides we're going to order, I'm throwing that out, pizza, then they want to have the fried mushrooms and they want to have the garlic bread, right? And so I enjoy the pizza. And if I do have the garlic bread, it's a small piece. I don't stop everybody else from having it. And I shouldn't have to stop everybody else from having what they want because ultimately this is my lifestyle change.
Right. Absolutely.
What do you tell people?
Same. Exactly the same. You know, and
that, and I'm like, you just eat a buttered noodle? Well,
right.
Okay.
Right. I know. It's like
That's
need
a
to have
side dish for me, but I get it.
Right. I mean, you have to put a little effort into it, but sometimes it gets overwhelming for people. They just don't know where to start.
Pick the protein.
Yeah, and I love the air fryer. So I mean, we use it. We've cooked chicken in there. I mean, all kinds of meat. It could be a 1 or 2 serving. Like that's it.
Yeah. Air fryer, Instapot, all those are good. Crock pot.
Yes.
I mean, the Instapot scares me personally.
Yeah, I don't use it at all.
When
but
that little thing goes off and the steam's coming out, I'm like, this shit's gonna blow. So I freaks me out. And so, release naturally, blah, blah, blah. No.
Yeah, Mike does it. I don't do that at all.
Yeah, I tell my husband, hey, time to release this or whatever. But yeah, air fryer is great. Yeah, I do a lot in the air fryer. Yeah. And this, you know what? And I do. I plan the protein, and the steamer bags and the microwave are an easy thing to throw in there and microwave a side of vegetables. If no one else is having that doesn't mean you can't, right? And they're single serving sizes as well.
Now, when you were heavier, did you always pack your lunch also to work, or did you eat out or cafeteria?
before I became a nurse and a nurse practitioner, when I was at my heaviest weight, I did pack my lunch on occasion. So it was 50-50. But once I actually became a nurse, I packed my lunch.
Because you do it every day now.
Every day. Yeah, every day now, right? And I've always worked in the hospital setting, so it's easy for me to run down to the cafeteria if I was going to. But now I don't. Like the cafeteria is a few floors down. I could easily go. And I just don't. I always pack my lunch, I plan ahead. Like today's, is the day, and then I'm going to kind of meal prep how lunch looks. And then I make sure that's what I take with me. And on occasion that has to change, right? Because, you're celebrating a birthday and with your office or whatever. But I always try to plan ahead. How about you?
The same. I bring it every day as well. And I feel like I always brought it, even, in my heavier days, but it was more because I was too cheap to buy, which, you're going to comment on anyway. But, why spend money on crappy food, right? If you can bring it from home and
bring crappy food from home.
And that's probably what I brought was like, mac and cheese and hot dogs. Like, who knows? But I still always brought it because I didn't want to pay for it.
Right. But you were planning there. So that was already the start. So when you were started to lose the weight and know where you are now, I think that planning ahead was already there. Right?
Absolutely. Yes. And, making sure that you are sitting down with your family to find out what kind of things they want. I have a list on my wall, the kids, my mom, everyone puts whatever on the list that they want. And then there's no question what needs to be, what someone used up, right? So you have to make sure that you are discussing what do we have here, what's needed, who's going to be home. And that way you can kind of plan out at least the first few days of the week. So that makes it a little bit more easy to just maybe attain those goals, but
because you're kind of meal planning, right? You're expecting what's going on, you're trying to update with what we need, what we don't have, what people like, what people don't like, because you ultimately don't want to make a meal and then you're the only one that likes it, right? I mean, your goal is always to make sure that everybody's enjoying it, but sometimes not everybody does, and you can't please everybody,
No, and with that, I'm like, do your own thing. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm not going to make 5 different meals.
No. I know.
Even when they were little.
I've had some patients who use that as, and I'm going to say the word excuse because I had to eat chicken nuggets because my children only eat chicken nuggets. And okay, but you didn't have to eat 20 chicken nuggets. Right. And I'm not trying to fat shame anybody because I was the person that could eat a 20-piece chicken nugget and it was real good. But, that could look different. Are you eating, some with a salad, even though your children don't? Or, how does that work in moderation? But I'm not, or they'll make, I've had friends who have parents who will make a dinner for this child, a dinner for this child, dinner for them. I'm sorry. I was raised in the generation like, this is what we're eating. And if you don't want it, go with God. Right. Yeah. You help yourself to something else, but this was what dinner is going to be.
That's what I did early on. Yeah. You want something else, make it, as soon as they were able to do that. Cause we weren't going to be making 4 different meals.
Right. And I've always been of the belief, like if you're cooking for everybody, if no one speaks up that I don't like this or that, then that's what it is. Right. But like you said, if you're planning and you ask and people are, your household is saying, I like this, I like that. Make sure we have bananas, make sure we have, whatever in the house. I think it makes it easier because you're planning. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that really comes down to making sure, what you have available, who's going to be home, what are we making? And that way it's not, we're just going to stop at Chick-fil-A or Burger King or whatever because I didn't know what was going on. So communication, super important.
And sometimes there are those days where you're on the go with all the errands and all of that, and it has to be something like that. But then it's again the choices you make when you go to these other places, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to talk about that in a future episode. So that'll.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a real.
So basically that was like a shut up, Ben, don't talk about that now.
Well, no. I'm just so everyone knew, like, are they going to go into that? Yes, we will. Because sometimes
That's not how I took it, ladies and gentlemen, but okay.
Very sensitive over there. But people say, oh, I loved, X, Y, and Z, but I wish you would have gone into it a little bit further. Well, so, next episode, I think we're talking about dinner.
Oh, yes, we are.
Dining
We are.
out.
True. So you talked about making a list, right, when you go to the store. So tell me, are you a coupon person?
I hate coupons.
Do you say coupon or do you say coupon?
Coupon.
Coupon, me too.
Coupon?
Not coupon.
No, no.
Why do you hate them? Because you don't want to get 2 pork roasts for the price of 1?
Yeah, but those don't need a coupon. You
No.
think Granny's doing a coupon?
No.
No. Because I back in the day, now I know a lot of stuff is online, but I would clip them and then I would never find them, or there was restrictions, or I didn't buy enough to get the coupon. I don't
So you
have...
were never an extreme coupon where you had to buy like 20 things of diapers to get the free shampoo?
No, but I do kind of envy those people a little bit, but they always have like 50 of, pert.
Right, I was just thinking pert
Yeah,
plus, right?
or something
And,
like that. Like,
yeah,
what are you going to do
like,
with all that?
Yeah, and you have no hair.
Yeah.
Oh, your hair looks bad, so clearly you weren't using that pert that you got 12 for the price of 1.
I mean,
Anyway.
things like but I recently, Mike here has started to buy things online, and he does the digital coupons from the Jewels.
My husband does the digital coupons as well. Yes, but it's usually for like, Target.
Oh, right.
Buy one of those stupid birds, get one free, by the way. Yeah. But I think, couponing is always a really good thing for people on a budget. And not that we're not on a budget, ladies and gentlemen. Trust
Right.
me.
It's more, yes.
It's me that I will throw that out there. It's my
wish I could do
own
it.
laziness to having to look through all of these flyers that come through to save 9 cents on macaroni and cheese or whatever. And I actually wish I could do it. Right. I
Same.
agree. And I've always seen those people on TV, those extreme couponers. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to do this. But then it never takes. But I think it's a really good thing.
You mentioned the factor meals.
Yes.
What do you guys think of those boxed like delivery meal places that do that, like Every Plate and Home Fresh and all those? That is a question that's coming up. So I figured since you guys kind of talked about it, talked about factor, just go ahead and.
I mean, I think.
Hey there, Mike.
Hey,
Welcome.
Mike.
Oh, hi.
That's the voice of Mike, our producer, also Amy's husband. So when she talks about Mike, that's him.
He's always looking to, get a little voice in there.
Yeah, always. So thanks, Mike. Thanks for that question from beyond. But I think all those meals factor, Every Plate. What's that other one? Marley and Me.
Blue Bonnet.
Blue Bonnet.
Isn't that one?
Blue Apron.
Blue Apron.
Blue Bonnet is a margarine.
Ice cream. Go figure. I know it's
Is
Blue Bonnet. There you go.
Blue Bunny is an
Bunny.
ice cream. Blue Bonnet is a margarine.
That's right.
Blue Apron.
That's right.
I think those are always a good source of meal planning. It allows you to pick your meals, pick your boxes that comes with the fresh produce or the meals already pre-prepped for you. And I think those are good options for people that supplement what they're eating, right? I always, I get Factor. We eat it for dinner. It's not like it's the only thing we eat. I'm not getting Factor for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I think those are good because you can choose a variety of different diets on them, right? Low fat, high carb, low carb, low protein, or high protein. I think they're great.
Yeah. And
They always have a coupon offer. Like, you can phone a friend and they get 25% off their box as well.
Yeah. So I've never done Factor before, but we do the ones that you have to cook, which you had at one point too.
Do you think the Factor meals come cooked, Amy?
You have to heat them.
Oh, that's cooking.
You have to prepare the meals that we get.
I pull off the plastic.
Oh, God. All right. So anyway, we always did that, never did Factor. And price point wise, so we could feed, let's just say per meal, maybe $3.50 per meal. Okay. Now you still have to prepare everything, do, everything. Whereas Factor is put together for you. Where's the price point difference? No, I'm asking because I think people might want to know.
I mean, Factor meals are roughly anywhere from $6 to $9 a meal.
Okay.
Sometimes a little bit more if you're having something that's like they're higher end meals, like the filet and shrimp.
So
something
yeah,
like
I mean
that.
that's what I'm just saying. Like trying to get a feel. Some people,
But at the same time, that $11, that $11 meal is cheaper than if I had gone out to even the local Mexican
even
restaurant.
Burger King.
Yeah. Or Taco Bell.
Absolutely.
Because I could easily spend $11 or more at Taco Bell. Right, Mike? Yeah, Mike said too.
Yeah.
Mike too.
Yeah. No, but that's why I'm just convenience,
Convenience,
and it's already done.
Yeah.
And I've heard nothing but good things. Like I always liked ours, and once prepared, yours. But so people kind of know you don't have to be this chef. I mean, you could do some of these things, and I have found anyway that I spend less at the store if I get these meals than I would if I'm buying for meals all week. And we've actually put ours on hold for a few weeks now, just because we got tired of what they were sending us.
We did the same. So we actually put ours on hold this week as well.
So we'll go back to it again, but I definitely spend less money if I'm, buying those things.
Yeah, I agree. And even with those things, like I'm that person that goes to the store, that shops with a list, and looks for some deals sometimes while I'm at the store, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because they have signs up and everything like that. But if I'm just typically not the one, I just go in, get what I need. Is that great that I'm not, checking price or whatever? I just want to get going, So those are things people can all be better about too, is, when you're at the store, just making sure that, you're looking at the cost of things. You can go canned, you can go or frozen, and then fresh, of course,
right? And people ask me that all the time. So that, what a fresh, frozen, blah, 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 which is the best? Actuality, there is no real difference between the three. And I know people are going to write in and say, yes, there is, but there's actually not, because the fresh, it's great. It's fresh, right? You're still cooking, except some of the fruit, right? You're not cooking the fruit. But nowadays, even with the canned, there's they're all flash frozen and packaged and steamed and blah, blah, blah. So some of those in there, like for example, fruit. People ask me about fruit, especially living here in the Midwest. We don't have a lot of fresh fruit during our winter season. So I always tell people, if you steer towards the canned fruit, you're looking at stuff that's packed. You always want to look for the stuff that's lowest amount of sugar, right? Packed in its own natural juices, not just in juice. Or sometimes even in Splenda. I think those are good. And now this, like I was talking about, the steamable bags, those are flash frozen. And so those are just as good, sometimes, if not better, because they last longer.
And you can buy them more in bulk.
You could buy them more in bulk, correct.
If someone's on a budget, for sure. I mean, like you said, dietitians, many other maybe nutritionists or whatever, be like, what? Fresh and is the best, and I get completely what you're saying.
Fresh probably is the best, but realistically, who has a garden that could buy that has all of that out there, and you go to the grocery store nowadays.
And money, it's expensive to get fresh and organic, or if you're doing that, so with canned or frozen anyway, because that's usually what I recommend. Go get frozen stuff. You're going to be able to get a huge packet of it, and it's going to last forever because it's in your freezer and it's not going to go bad. That's a lot of people's thing too, is, well, when I buy this stuff, it goes bad before I eat it.
Yeah.
Well, if you just buy in moderation and you kind of plan it out, what you're going to be eating,
plan.
Right, then it's not going to go bad.
Yeah.
None of our fruit here ever goes bad, because I know what'll last for how many days, and then it's done.
Yeah, same.
Then I go get more.
Yeah, I do the exact same. I don't buy more than what I think I'll need, so that way it stays fresh. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you're shopping at the local Kroger, Walmart, Jewel, Aldi, Costco, wherever. I think everybody looks for a budget, right? Everybody looks for the deal, but just because you're buying something at Aldi's doesn't make it worse than if you were buying it at, like you just said, Jewel or Mariano's or Kroger or wherever, right? And as a matter of fact, I think there's a lot of things at some of these stores that people consider like in a more budget-friendly stores are actually better than some of these higher-end stores that people are always turned to look at as well.
Oh, absolutely. And, how about with salad dressings, sauces? People can get into a lot of trouble, to speak, with, dressings and sauces. What do you recommend for that?
So, I always tell people salads are a great option for a lot of people. I eat a salad. I'm a big salad eater, but I shouldn't say go wrong, right? But people sometimes spiral into that dressing, right? And so for me, I'm very specific with my brands that I like dressing-wise, but I always have the dressing on the side. I usually don't put it right on top. I think that's the biggest thing where people can go wrong, or I measure it out, right? I don't just pour it on, because a lot of times that salad that you've made that's amazing, that's 350 calories, now you've just dumped on 300 calories, 400 calories with the dressing, is now 700 calories, which is still not a bad salad, right?
And all
700
kinds of sugar.
And all kinds of sugar, and right. I always tell people, people will make their own salad dressings, I think is a good option. Or even a little bit of like some sort of good olive oil and it's like some
a
vinegar.
vinaigrette. I agree.
Or balsamic vinegar.
I like that too.
Yeah.
That's a safe option for sure.
Some people will just salt and pepper and a squeeze of lemon. You know, I think that's always a good option as well. What about you? What do you tell people?
Same thing. I mean, you know, a lot of times people have, you know, saying they're having a salad, but then they have zero protein on there, you know, and then, you know, not tracked looks to me like a dry salad. They're like, oh yeah, I had the salad dressing. So, I mean, you know, with that, I mean, I really I suggest some things that I would tell people, but you can't drown your salad in dressing, you know? So, you have to be aware of the food labels and knowing how much, you know, sugar, carbs, calories are in something, because it could really derail you, right?
And what an actual portion size of these dressings or whatever is, right?
Yeah.
If you look at many of these labels on there, it'll be like 2 tablespoons. Measure out 2 tablespoons sometime and see, you know? Don't just eyeball it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I tell everyone that they should be measuring and weighing and all of their things, at least initially, so they know, because people notoriously underestimate what they eat.
Oh, absolutely. But I think, and they completely underestimate. I mean, I'm sure there are times where I've underestimated, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I know we were talking about, you just kind of mixing this back together, where if your family's only eating this and you're like, well, I have to eat the marinara and blah, 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 blah. There's your good thing to pop in one of those steamable bags of vegetables and have veggies on the side, or add a side salad to anything, right? That's a good, healthy, lower calorie option to zhuzh up your meal, right?
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, this is interesting too. You know, I was looking food labels, like I said, and that could be a whole nother topic, maybe with one of our dietitians, but it's interesting, you know how you have like fat-free or low or light or, you know, reduced fat. You know, a lot of times people don't really know what that means. Oh, this looks good. It's low fat, or it's, you know, reduced calorie. So, you know, if something is fat-free, as they say, which we don't hear about that really as much.
That used to be a fad back in the day.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, to be labeled as fat-free, you have to have less than 5 calories per serving. Keep in mind, they can change serving sizes. You know, I mean, their serving could be 3 things, like, you know, 3 pieces of cheese or whatever it is, you know,
and it's
or
still
it could
not
be 12.
fat-free, right? Because it has to be less than 0.5 grams of fat per serving. So it's not really fat-free.
Right. Absolutely. And then, you know, to be low or light as far as calories, less than 40 calories per serving. Then it can be low or light.
Right.
You know, but again, I see it all the time. They make their serving sizes so small, you know, and then people don't realize, oh, well, to actually have a glass of something, you need to have 2 or 3 servings of it.
Right.
Yeah. So in 25% or fewer calories per serving, than the original product. So like, that's what I was saying, like things,
like
small.
A ranch versus the light ranch.
Yeah. So, you know, that's a whole nother topic, is really getting into these things, because like you said, back whenever the fat-free fad was, you know, what was that in the
90s, early 2000s, right?
It was all about the fat-free, and that's, like we've talked already, that's not where
your body needs some fat, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and a lot of times those fat-free options are more expensive than the regular option, that the non-fat-free option, right? Or the light option can be pricier, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or the taste is a bit different, right? I think taste and texture sometimes has a lot to deal with why people won't eat certain things. Like I know I tell my patients this all the time. I love yogurt and I eat a light brand. I cannot stand Greek yogurt.
Oh, I got some of yours. I haven't tried it yet, but I want
the
to
one I told you about.
Yeah,
good. Yeah, I don't like Greek yogurt, and I think it's a consistency thing. And I'll cook with it. I just won't eat it, but I like yogurt. You know, so I eat the light brand of the version that I eat. That's not a Greek yogurt. So it's kind of that for me, right? It's the consistency thing. So I think that a lot of people have have to realize what they like, because I've never been a person that I'll learn to like it. And I tell people, you should not have to learn to like something. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Like when you met me, Amy, you liked me right away. Yeah. Yeah. I've learned to like you.
It's kind of early in the day for me to go back at you now. So I'll just nod.
Yeah. And because I'm right. So, but anyway,
more on that. But I wanted to end with a few things that I'm going to tell you what's a staple in my house every week.
Vodka.
Well, I mean, hello, of course. As far as food is concerned, I always want to make sure, and this is just to help people, again, because you don't need to be like a chef, right? So some things that I'm always getting, on Sunday when I'm doing my meal prepping is we're going to get a rotisserie chicken. We're going to have hard-boiled eggs. We're going to have cheese sticks. We're going to have cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, which I do eat. And
do you like it?
Yeah, I do,
Okay.
but it is a little thick. I get the consistency thing for sure. It's sometimes that's hard in the morning to
have something thick.
Yeah, no. Nope, we're not going there either. But I think fruits, as far as ones that don't perish quickly, right? I mean, oranges or apples, you can put berries in the fridge. Just don't wash the berries until you're ready to eat them.
Correct.
But those are just a few things that we always have here, which, again, you're not breaking the bank with those things, but you're planning.
Right.
That's important.
We have staples in my house all the time too. A few of the same things that we add to it. And like you, it's very similar. We have rotisserie chicken in our fridge. There is some sort of turkey or chicken lunch meat, string cheese, some of those Baby Bells. And again, I'm not endorsing any products, just telling you what we have. Yogurts, a light version.
I always have fruit.
I always have fruit and berries, right? There's always strawberries, blackberries, some sort. We always have bananas because my mom eats a banana every day. And there's always some sort of fruit because I think it's a good healthy snack, and I just like adding it to things, right? You can add it to salads and all chicken salad or any kinds of salad.
Anything.
We always have that in the house.
Yeah. So I mean, it really doesn't take much. Again, it's just planning. It becomes just habit. It's a habitual thing. It is for me anyway now.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say one more last quick thing. I know some people who, if you buy in bulk, and I've looked into this as well. People will have those chest freezers, right? And so they can buy those. Some people will buy meat in bulk from a local farmer or something like that. Or if your local store has chicken on sale or whatever on sale, people will buy it and then you freeze it, right? Because it's good. Put a date on it. I always tell people that it's a big thing. Put a date on it. But now you have that, like we talked about, a protein, and now you plan around it. So
I'm kind of one of those weird ones. I don't like to eat frozen meat.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But to each his own, right? I mean, I just go buy it fresh. But I have friends that buy half a cow's.
Mike's rolling his eyes at you.
I know, because he gets so weird that I don't like frozen meat.
Okay.
But, we're not a half a cow, family. Like, we're not going to go do that. But that's where you can save a lot of money as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we have some frozen meat in the house. But yeah. I plan, but if I'm planning, right, what I'm going to make for that week, then I'll go get the meat. But I'm just telling you, for other people that save money, I think that's a really good thing to do. I have an aunt that lives in northern Wisconsin, and I know she has a deep freezer, and she gets all of that chickens and everything from the farmer when time for those animals to cross to the Rainbow Bridge.
No, that's gross. But
yeah.
It's easy as long as you come up with a plan, and that's really our main focus is, we want to make sure that, everyone understands that it's just about planning and
trial and error.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So.
And good meal prep containers.
Oh yeah, that's always
a good thing.
Yeah, that's very, very good. And there's all kinds of fun. You can get disposable ones you can reuse. Disposable, I mean reusable, but plastic ones. And there's ones you can reuse that are just have different compartments in them, so you can separate all your food out. Yeah, I agree. I think those are all good things. Just some small tips that I've always thought. Fix your plate
right, in the kitchen and then go to sit down and eat in the dining room, right? Don't eat in front of the TV because you're going to wolf down the food and not pay attention to when you feel hungry. I think separating those two out. Always sit down at the table, right? I think sitting down is always a good thing.
No,
chew and
absolutely.
put the silverware down, right? In between bites. Stop when you're satisfied.
Stop inhaling it.
Stop inhaling it. That's a hard thing. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, well, like I said, I hope this helped you guys. I know we had a few listeners, wanted some ideas on this. And, I'm not a master chef. I don't know how to do this. So you don't have to be that.
No, not
really
at all. I'm not a master chef either. You can Google any recipe online that you want to, skinny, and I'm not endorsing, I'm just telling you where I look. Skinnytaste.com is always a great source. You can go there, you can plug in chicken, and there's however many chicken dishes you want to look at, and you can choose dinner, lunch, whatever. You can.
There's a lot of free apps.
There's a lot of free apps.
For sure.
Free on,
Yeah.
Exactly. So again, but if you, the listeners, have anything you want to hear us talk about or topics you want us to discuss.
Or specific questions.
By all means, write in to our email, which is what? Michael@theheavytruth.com. I was waiting for Mike to answer, but he just kept .net, but he just kept nodding. Mike, could you tell our listeners?
It's Michael@theheavytruth.net, or you can get us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube now as well.
And TikTok.
And Apple Podcasts.
And
TikTok.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Got a lot.
Well, Amy, it's been a pleasure to discuss this with you again.
Yes, you too.
Yeah, it's good seeing you.
Yeah, we'll be back for more fun and drama and sass, and stay tuned for next episode.
Yeah, for the next episode. I'm Ben.
And I'm Amy.
And we're The Heavy Truth.
See ya.
Bye.